This is Saints Row 4 Re-elected. We're on Xbox Series X, jumping into this, I guess you could say, most recent entry, well, official entry in the Saints Row series. An open world sandbox game where things got a little bit wild and unhinged. So it's the original sort of version. We just get a little bit of a boost of res there. So 1080p, 60 FPS experience, with the magic of auto HDR, which is actually quite great. So yeah, this is a rather unique entry in the series. Oh, Romance Kinsey, oh yeah. Anyways, it's interesting because it kind of parodies Mass Effect, as odd as that is, because you're the president of the United States, and these aliens come, and basically you're taken and they matrix you, and then you have to go and deal with that sort of situation. So we're going to enter the simulation, as to say, and get right into the action. So it's definitely going to be a little bit fascinating if they are to continue the series, because I'm very genuinely curious to figure out where exactly they would go after this. So I really like this game. Now, I know it was kind of like an easygoing continuation from Saints Row the Third, but it was still a lot of fun. I mean, it's just wacky, it's over the top, because it's a simulation. You're basically gaining, like, superpowers, and it's the equivalent of the Matrix and stuff like that. It's wacky, it's wild. It's so over the top. But I think they play into it in a very fun sort of way, because you're basically battling these aliens, and you know, there's all these weird sort of figuring out and breaking out of these different time zones. You got this incredible cast of characters. Like, seriously, what a stellar offering of individuals that made up this game in terms of it. Like, its story was really fun. I really do like this one. It was really interesting at the end of the last generation, and then obviously pretty early on, from what I remember, in this generation when it came to its release. But yeah, I still think it looks pretty good. I mean, obviously, like with all the Saints Row games, we're getting some like pop in within the environment as we run along. That's just kind of the thing with Saints Row, I guess, you know, these big open worlds for this time. But strangely, the traffic in the distance, I don't know if you notice, that kind of pops up and holds decently well. I don't know if that's a good perspective, but if you look out at the distance when you're running back there, you could actually see like cars and stuff in the distance kind of rendering, and then these ones close up also kind of popping up, but not really seeing too many good examples here. Anyways, it had all the fun and quirks of the series. It had some strange happenings, strange events, and of course, it just really changed how you traverse the world. I mean, you can still drive and stuff, but I mean, why would you do that when you can fly and jump and move? And yeah, it's kind of crazy. It really, really is just, I don't know. It's kind of nuts. It's just the Saints Row, you know, but way bigger and obviously looking fantastic. And I want to say on top of that now, we actually get the benefit of it running really smoothly. Because while it did have that silky smooth kind of target, it didn't necessarily hit it the best. And yeah, it's kind of nice to see this really at its full kind of potential in regards to the gameplay and the movement and everything like that. I think that's kind of nice. But yeah, it's just like it was a weird game. Like, it's hard to describe because it's literally how I described it. You're in a simulation, you're battling back. It's kind of like the Matrix. You're a superhero, basically. You're a god character that's evolved, and you know, you've still got all these, like, weird weapons and silly things going on, and it's really over the top and just crazy. I don't know how else to really go over it. They went wild. They took the existing world, you know, and they added this weird cybernetic kind of thing to it, and I think it worked. And apparently I've, like, done all the real world activities. I think there's still some achievements and stuff to clean up, obviously, because I haven't done everything, but I actually got a new achievement that just popped, so I don't know if they fixed a glitch or something, but I got one for finishing all the real world activities when I loaded this up, so I was like, oh, score, cool. And yeah, so there's all these different challenges, all these different events, all these different side activities you can do. Of course, that full cast of characters is present here. And this game's got like a really cool opening segment too that I really loved. Yeah, it's kind of wild. But you can just do all these different crazy things, improve your skills, battle against other people. There's also co-op play, obviously, as well, if you want to play with someone else. I guess I should show that off. There, so you can go to co-op if you want. That's kind of a nice choice to have. And then you got the different powers, telekinesis, buffs, stops, phones. You can call up your homies. You can get everybody in here. We call them like a mech suit. It's kind of cool. I don't know. So you can do a giant mech suit. I don't know. It's just wild. I guess that's the best I could describe it. It's just this insane, like, take on the Saints Row series. It's where they literally raise the bar in regards to, like, wackiness and over-the-topness and just going nuts, letting loose, having weird fun with it. I think that's kind of magical, too. And then the cash there. And then we can call in our bros and our team and the Saints back up, and yeah, it's just like a wide range of characters. I mean, we can call in Santa.
Of course, my child.
And it is adult in nature too, this game. If you're not aware with that. Come on, Santa. Let's roll. Yeah, I do think, you know, to a degree, it was kind of like lazy to reuse the same world, but when you make such a big open world, you know, they did a lot with it. I want to say that. I want to get that across. Is they really did do their best to change things up and make this feel new and fresh. And you're definitely feeling that as you play the story and as you're experiencing the different things within the world as you explore and run around. Like, to me, jumping up like this and stuff is an absolute, like, joyride. So it really is going to be just like the weirdest situation in the world to go back to a Saints Row title where you are walking on the ground. And I know I've been doing a lot of revisits of games, but if I was to go forward in a new Saints Row game, I'm so used to being able to reach the sky, to fly high, to explore in this way. So it'll be neat to see where they go with it. Are they gonna like try to ground it? Are they gonna continue this onwards? I don't know. We know it's coming, but yeah, I'm just really, really excited. I love playing this. It's so, like, weird, too. And obviously, we haven't even used really our abilities. And you start out so kind of, like, weak and stuff, and you gotta really build things up. It's almost disappointing that I don't really have, like, enemies that I'm dealing with here. I think that's, like, a big problem, too, is I've, like, really cleared up a lot of this. Like, I've done some crazy things, but you can explore the world so easily. Like, we were doing like a regular Saints Row review, which I've been doing a bit of as of recently, you know, showing off the different Saints Row games on the channel, which you can check out. It's just like you wouldn't even be able to show off like a quarter of the world because you don't have the ability and the freedom of movement that you do in this one. I'm gonna actually see if we have like a home base of sorts. I guess maybe that's the ship. Because they really did change what exactly you can do in this one. Telekinesis rifts. So many different challenges and like buying things. And, you know, obviously they added a lot. They really did try to mix things up and provide something wild. And then your villain's kind of fun too. I did like him. I thought he was funny. And again, like the opening of this game is just hilarious. If you want wacky over the topness, I don't think many other games really hit the mark to the degree that the Saints Row games do. I mean, these ones are just obviously so wacky. Is that like a mission? What kind of mission is this? Doesn't even tell me what mission. Oh, is it like a replay mission? Oh, I see. Because we could show off a bit of that in action, but yeah, kinda nuts. Survive the attack. Oh no! Well, actually, that gives us some combat, I guess, so we can see this game in full chaos.
Watch out! They're using some sort of suppression grenade. They're probably trying to counteract your power.
Oh yeah, this is like Kenzie with other Kenzie. I also love the old-timey place you get to go to, and there's like the Dubstep? Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the weapon name. Is it like the dubstep one? Is this in this one? The Dominator. Maybe that's the last Saints Row game. I don't know. Hard to keep track. So many different releases. Oh yeah, the cannon. That's fun too. They give you so many weird like weapons and then upgrades, and yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like it really is just like this insane over the top to the max open world experience, and you could just freely do whatever you want and just have a grand time with it. It's just so crazy and exciting, and you gotta wonder, did they go too far? That's the question always, right? You know, did the Saints Row franchise go too over the top for people? That's a good question, because I think that this is personally just an absolute blast. It's crazy, but you know, it's still a lot of fun, and it's just neat because again, it was one of those like really early releases to kind of showcase what we could get next gen, which was kind of fun at that time, obviously. And then, you know, we've got this release here all these years later, and we're seeing really the full scope of the move. Really? Unbelievable. Maybe we gotta move to something that's like allows us to jump higher. Oh, can we not fly at this point? That's weird. We actually gotta like climb this up here. Come on. Go, 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 go. A little bit faster. That'd be nice. Again, this is just like an example mission that I didn't even mean to do, but we kind of went on it, so I'm like, okay, this is a good way to show off gameplay. I don't even know really what it shows or if it spoils anything because it's simulation, so anything can happen. None of this could matter. This could be any kind of context in any kind of situation. Who even knows? I don't even remember specifically what we're doing here. Who we're doing this with? Well, I mean, we got Johnny, we got Shandy. I think we got Shandy, right? I don't know. Kind of hard to tell. Yeah, I think we do. What a weird situation, am I right? Get in the chopper. Can I finish those tanks off on the ground? I had a rocket launcher.
Here's some banner getting into that car. Let's cover him. On it. Just that good.
You are just that good. Yeah, you customize your own character too, obviously. If you didn't know, Saints Row really does love to offer just the craziest amount of customization that you could imagine. Insane missions. Insane creatures. I mean, we're fighting aliens that abducted us and turned us into like these, I don't know, we're in these pods and we're in this like weird simulation world. It's like the ultimate kind of parody, quite honestly. It truly is one of the most insane experiences I think I've ever played in games, and I'm not sure there are many other comparable titles that really went this all out to do something nuts, and I'm not sure there are many franchises that could get away with this kind of game, making it work so well. And then obviously the DLC content too. I think you like saved Christmas. I'm pretty sure that's why Santa's in here. You saved Christmas. There was a lot of extra content. This one in Saints Row the Third, I think, had like a good chunk of extra things you could enjoy within it. It's just kind of a fun, sort of weird game, right? And you would think these aliens in their simulation would be able to hold us down, but I mean, our guy was the president of the United States. Or if you're playing as a female, you could do that too. Whatever you want. Who cares? It's Saints Row 4. Nothing matters. Everything's weird. They went nuts with it. I think this was also around the time they released Gad Out of Hell is the name of the game, I think. That's where you're literally in like hell and stuff, and that was weird too. I don't know if I want to show that one off, but that might be fun too, because it's just weird. And again, they did weird things, like truly bizarre stuff with this one. It's something I don't think I'll ever forget, and I don't think I should either, because it is insanely cool. Does anybody else want to get blasted away from our Saints copter? It's not even Saints branded. That's the disappointing part. It's like, really? Do they know who we are? We're the Saints. We battled aliens. Literally aliens. I don't know. It's the strangeness of this one that I find so enticing, I guess. Just the movement and the freedom to explore an open world like that. And it's weird that you could almost perfectly apply this maybe to like an actual hero type game, because I guess you could say this is kind of a superhero title. Just in regards to being like a large open world with lots of free movement and fun and easygoing times. Oh no, we're going down. Why is that? I thought I handled this pretty well. Oh no. What are we gonna do, guys?
Everyone okay?
You know it.
We walked away, right?
Oh, look, a cat. Is this a pet store?
A cat? Fuck, of all the...
I got a bad feeling about this one, don't you guys?
Seriously? Super ethical reality climax. Who names this shit?
It's a good question, Johnny. It's a damn good question. Cash extras. I don't know. It's kind of weird. We can exit the mission. Excellent. Failed. Exit mission. It was just kind of cool to show off a little bit of the actual missions, so you got that understanding, like what it's like. I don't know. It's just a good length. I think you can have a lot of fun with it. You get side missions with your favorite characters. You get to have a funny romance kind of thing too. It's silly. It's not to the degree that you would like see like a Mass Effect game or anything like that. It's just they just have fun with it. That's mainly what it was. The devs were like, let's go absolutely nuts. Let's cash in this massive world that we created with Saints Row the Third, and let's just go wild. And they went super wild. Too wild? I don't know. The choice really is up to people that play it, but I personally had a blast playing this twice. I guess, you know, 360, then on Xbox One when it, you know, early in gen and stuff. I mean, I always enjoyed like the Saints Row titles, and I think these latter ones are an absolute joy as well. So it's cool to see the fact that we can still enjoy this one relatively nice. Like, I mean, a lot of games, while looking good, don't give us the fluidity offering that this one does. And I think the Saints Row titles are kind of fascinating. Not the older ones, but, you know, Saints Row the Third Remastered, obviously, definitely future-proofed, because that one runs like an actual charm and a gem on this. And I mean, this one also does actually run really quite well now. I mean, you've obviously been seeing some top-of-the-notch action and intensity and explosions and chaos, and it seems to be just perfectly and smoothly running through it with no difficulty at all. You need to feel the intensity of being an absolute hero and a superpowered maniac that is kind of almost unstoppable. I like to think I'm pretty unstoppable, but I'm sure there's plenty of aliens out there that could, if they really put their minds to it, put a stop to my action across this world. But I hope you've kind of seen the effort that they did pour into this one. It definitely seemed to be a bit of a passionate, fun thing. You got so many weird situations, so many cool powers, so many neat abilities, and then obviously there's more to it than just this. Like, there's other areas you kind of go to, and I think that's worth checking out. They obviously left realism at the door, though. We were starting to see that with Saints Row 3, but this is where they really just went wild. I mean, who knows? Maybe an alien invasion would involve all of us being put in some kind of simulation where we've got to gain superpowers and fight back, and the president of the US, of all places, would save us. I think that in itself is kind of silly, but, you know, could happen. How do you actually get those ones? I'm trying to think of that. Is like a super punch or something? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I don't care. We're just flying high and running around. Yeah, I wish there was more superhero games kind of like this, though, where you could just, well, maybe without the digitizing of the fact that we're in a simulation, but, you know, where you get this kind of, like, fun sense of freedom. I also really like that in Spider-Man, you know, the recent Spider-Man games on the PlayStation. Those ones, they really do give you a lot of freedom and fun in their exploration, and I think more games could be kind of crazy like this. I'd almost like to see the Saints Row team kind of handle like a superhero game. And I don't know if their efforts with Agents of Mayhem really do cover that, but that's one I think I'll also want to check out sometime, because I did actually quite like that one, despite, you know, the response to that one not being, well, being lukewarm, I guess you could say. I really do think that game's fun, too. We might have to jump into that and see how it's running, but I don't know, I think this is a good... Oh, yeah, he's got himself up there as like a statue. That was always funny. It's just a weird game. It really is, but definitely worth checking out if you've never played it before, for the fun story, for the engaging characters, the stupid stuff you can do in it. and the crazy action you can have as you go about, you know, being a president in a simulation and trying to also bring the Saints back to real glory here. Anyways, that's Saints Row 4 Reelected.